Hi, I'm Linda Griggs. This is my studio. I love that this studio still retains elements of the original PS160 classroom, like the supply closet, probably with the original lead paint. I wasn't going to lick the doors anyway. I'm storing my own toxic pigments in there. Here's the teacher's closet. See how it has no doorknob, just a lock and a groove at the top, so it can be pulled open? That keeps the little ones out. And there's a makeup mirror. And I still have the children's coat closets, which are sliding doors with a chalkboard on one door and a bulletin board on the other. Yes, I have to be careful that the little coat hooks don't poke holes in the paintings I have stored in there, but I can't bear to tear them out. In some Snyder schools, the coat closets were heated, which must have been a welcome relief for kids in wet coats on cold days. There's a metal backing in the closet, and I wonder now if this was one of the heated closets. It was ventilated in any case. I don't know when this building went from gaslight to electricity, but we've certainly never changed out our beautiful old schoolroom light fixtures. I've been working with homemade black walnut ink for a while now. I made sure to make a lot of it while we had access to the tree. It's beautiful stuff. I use it in conjunction with colored pencil and egg tempera. And sometimes, even though I boil it and add alcohol, some organic material, aka squirrel poop, must get in there. One batch got pretty smelly, and a bottle exploded about an hour and a half before a big studio visit. Ink shot all the way across the room. I've done a lot of black walnut drawings for a series called Bad Toys and Ass Beatings. These are family portraits of objects that Americans have used through time to spank children. While many parents will grab whatever is at hand, others pass down the inclination to use a specific punitive implement from generation to generation, as if it were a recipe or a holiday tradition. In the episode of Blackish that got the most letters and responses, Pops, the grandpa, bequeathed his whoopin' weapon of choice, a section of Hot Wheels track, to Dad. These are some of the bad toys I was referring to in the title of the series. Smaller works are clustered in an installation to look like family portraits on Grandma's brag wall. I took a stab at needlepoint to make sure I had some colonial spanking in there, but apparently willow switches are really painful and still in use. I gave myself the extra challenge of matching the frame to the era. Here's a 50s frame with the belt hanging on rocket ship wallpaper. A lot of people got a hand spanking, so I had to put that one in. The hairbrush, that's a classic. I read a number of newspaper articles about people who went to jail for using an extension cord on their kids. The fly swatter was a lot more common than I thought, and I ended up drawing a lot of them, but mostly because they're really fun to draw. I limited the scope of the project to the United States, but people bring their traditions with them, so I learned about La Chancleta and the Pan-Latinx history of slipper-based discipline, though this is a tradition in some non-Hispanic households as well. I'm guessing a Gucci slipper hurts as bad as a flip-flop. And from photographer Merrill Meisler, I learned about the Loxen strap, a belt with the end cut into strips. It's named for the Loxen noodle used in Kugel and comes from the German and Yiddish for locks of hair. Merrill's neighbors had one hanging on the wall. Al Bummy Davis, the boxer, related that the Loxen strap was in common use on boys in his Brownsville neighborhood in Bummy Davis vs. Murder Incorporated, The Rise and Fall of the Jewish Mafia and an Ill-Fated Prizefighter. Chinese Americans talk about the plastic hanger and the feather duster, which is held on the feather end so you whack the kid with a stick end. Its efficacy is credited with the increased math and college entrance exam scores. The belt and the switch seem to have been used across time and across all strata. Going back in time to the 1880s, I imitated a William Harnett painting and used the text from a disturbing 1792 hymn on submitting to punishment. For the 1980s, I replicated an Al Held with Hot Wheels track. I have to admit, doing studies for the Hot Wheels track paintings was almost as much fun as doing the paintings themselves. If Hot Wheels track isn't used as much now as when my brother was little and getting a beating, it's because Mattel shortened the track by 6 inches and you can't get as good a lash out of it. Just an FYI, the paneling is painted and Post-its did have lines on them when they first came out. I almost always use text in my work. This time it was a friend's story in vinyl type on a vintage Hot Wheels track set. He laughs and tells me, "Worst toy that ever entered the Kinney household. My poor mother, there were 5 of us boys and we were always in trouble. So one day we did something really bad. She went for the Hot Wheels track, but we knew what was coming, and they hurt too much. We hid every piece. She was so angry when she couldn't find any track that she grabbed a fiberglass fishing rod from the porch, and she's running after us, and we are running for our lives, and she pins us in the second floor bathroom. We're cornered, and she takes care of us with a fishing pole. During COVID, we had to work at home, and I did a series of small drawings from photo albums. The Garden of the Gods campground parking lot, the Garden of the Gods, concrete block balcony, magnificent putt-putt golf course, Taconic Parkway Motel, the Fountain Hotel. Like a lot of people, I did drawings of the protests. Mine are from screen grabs of live helicopter footage. I was especially upset to see a fire started so close to a bookstore. My friend Matt Barton from the Library of Congress posted an audio recording of Florence Nightingale made on a wax cylinder in July 1890. When my mother graduated nursing school, she received a stripe on her cap, a cape, and a little porcelain lamp, in reference to the one carried during the Crimean War by Florence Nightingale, founder of modern nursing and a groundbreaking statistician. My mother's lamp looked like a genie lamp, or like the lamps carried in Old Testament story pictures, and we played with it when she wasn't around. During this pandemic, I've been thinking about all the members of my family who went into nursing and about that iconic lamp. Florence Nightingale was actually called the Lady with the Lamp, and the lamp is preserved in the Florence Nightingale Museum in Southwark. I was startled to discover that it looks nothing like a genie lamp. So this was my tribute to healthcare workers and historical accuracy.